Hey, welcome back to the channel. Chris here with Urban Gardener DC. It is March 22nd. All right, Washington DC area. We are still in the, well, yesterday was the first day of spring, but we're really still in a little bit of late winter. And today I wanted to go over some of my germination stuff. You guys saw recently how I'm able to germinate in these seed trays, right? We have, what do we have here? Pecorocini, we have some beets, we have some Black Beauty eggplant looking beautiful, we have some Fort Hook zucchini, and then we also have the long purple eggplant, and then we also have these big Thai chilies here. So the purpose of this video today is actually we're going to start talking about peppers, right? And why peppers this early in the season? As we all know, those are a very hot weather, hot climate crop. The reason here is in the DC market, we're in zone 7. So with 4 to 6 weeks is usually like out where I like to start planting or start germinating. So end of February, early March. I got these in just after the first. These peppers here. Let me take these out and we'll get this other seed tray out of our way. But yeah, so with these peppers, they're doing wonderful, right? They're in these little pod cells, right? Doing really, really well. But with peppers, you want to put them in the ground when the soil is warm. You don't want to put them in too early, maybe catch an early frost or even some, 40 or lower temperatures. And these little roots on these peppers are extremely, extremely sensitive to any cold, any frost, and you just don't want to do that. So I typically start mine about 6 to 8 weeks before in-ground planting. My in-ground planting is usually around Memorial Day. So with these peppers, you actually need to harden them off a little bit. And with our temperatures here in the Northeast, April, early part of April, we could still get a frost. So I don't want to detriment anything to do with these pepper plants. So I actually start to harden them off in the warm days. So in order to do that, it's kind of difficult because these are sensitive little seedlings at this point. I want to start doing what I call an indoor hardening and getting a better root structure in a warm climate so that the plant has a much better chance of surviving and thriving into the hot summer. So we're going to do just a quick germination, same process as before. We're just going to grab some soil, right? Get it packed down a little bit. We're going to grab our bottom cup, our water side cup. And I actually have 2 of these peppers in each cell. So I'm just going to carefully turn it on its side, pinch from the bottom, right? Pinch from the bottom, and it's going to pop out. And as if you see, very nice root structure, right? It's still a seedling, and I'm going to leave these 2 in there together because I've actually found in my environment, even if they were germinated in 2 separate cups, I can plant peppers right next to each other, same variety or different variety, and they actually do extremely well. Planted actually fairly close together. I was surprised when I first started doing it that way that it works so well. So I'm just going to grab some soil here, just delicately drip it around the edges. And I also mentioned with peppers, certain peppers, are going to be a late season crop. It depends on the environment of where you are. For me, typically, some of the shorter season peppers are like a jalapeno, where you can get germination to fruit in about 70 to 90 days. Something like these here, some of your hotter peppers can take about 90 to 120 days. So my theory, right, there's no exact science to it, but my theory in getting these germinated late February into early March, it's going to give me a longer period to create a better root base and a better thriving seedling to then around Memorial Day, first week of June, it's going to stay warm enough even in the nights and then hot enough in the days for these peppers to really, really thrive. So I've had a lot of great experience in germinating these peppers early, especially the hotter varieties, right? This is a big Thai chili, a habanero, some of your short, really spicy peppers, even the Italian peperoncini. I've found by germinating these seeds a whole lot earlier is going to give me a much, much, much better fighting chance in our climate here, right? So these are about 2 weeks old, and they've come up, I don't know, 3 inches out of the pot, out of the little cells, and now I'm giving them the fighting chance by putting them in to these pots. And it's from my experience, as I always suggest from folks. I'd love to hear from you too. If you have a certain way, depending on what climate you're in. I follow some folks that are actually over in the UK, and the southern climate of the UK is totally different than the northern climate of the UK. So they have different factors, So the purpose here is to kind of share with you all what works in my environment. If I have some followers, some subscribers here on YouTube that are in, Northern Virginia, maybe Southern Maryland, PG County, Baltimore. Now look at this one. Look at the roots coming out of this 2 little peppers, right? It's a beautiful, healthy plant, but they're going to start to get root bound. And I want to give these peppers a fighting chance to get the proper root structure before I submit them out into the elements, right? And this is just my little theory. It works for me. I'd be curious to know if you guys want to comment down below. I'd be curious to know from you guys what works in your environment. Maybe share with me a link. I don't know if you have a channel or not. But we're going to just delicately sow these in. Get them hydrated. We're going to use a very, very diluted amount of water-soluble fertilizer because they do have a root structure, but they're so young we don't want to burn these roots. We want to give them a thriving chance in the environment that they're comfortable in now. So, guys, if this has been helpful, I'm going to continue to germinate these peppers. I'll give you guys a final result coming soon. Like the content, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I try to keep these videos short and simple, and then try to do a follow-up as they come along. We just did transplant tomatoes. These were the better boys that we had talked about. They're doing quite well just after a couple days. And then I'm going to go into, status of where cucumbers are and whatnot. I've also heard that, everyone has their own theory, their own way of germinating or gardening. But keep in mind, I'm working with limited space, right? As you know, I'm germinating under my kitchen cabinet. So I'm on the countertop under my kitchen cabinets. And these seed trays actually work until I decide to go and put them into these pots. Then these pots are going to be either left on windowsills. I put them into a large cardboard box in the daytime sometimes if it's warm enough. This past week, a couple days went up into the high 70s. So I'll take them out for a couple hours at most and just try to get them acclimated to the sun, acclimated to the environment, which is going to just give them a better fighting chance throughout the season while it's still cool at night and the ground, still could be not completely frozen, but enough to completely destroy these pepper plants. So guys, that's it for this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'm new on YouTube. I'm trying to share content that's valuable to you, so let me know in the comments below things that you would either like to hear about, learn about, or maybe I could learn with you. All right, so that's it for now, and I'll see you guys on the next one.